Welcome to Petty Details, where we skip down a tree-lined lane of conversation on subjects from music to history and everything in between. Join Meg and Monica in our quest for nuggets of knowledge on all kinds of different subjects. Our journey will drop some petty details on you that you didn't know you needed to know until now. Hello,
Yes.
crew!
Hello,
Hello
hello.
to my co-hosts, Monica and Cam.
Hi.
Cam's Wi-Fi is doing great tonight, so
It is strong. It is
it's
strong tonight.
strong. Yeah.
Hey, buy a t-shirt, pay for my Wi-Fi.
Hey,
That's
there you
right.
deal
go.
we have, right?
I'm
Yep. This
telling
is
you,
our
we're gonna.
GoFundMe for
Yep.
Cam. Buy a t-shirt. So
That's the long con that we've
yeah.
been doing.
Yeah.
The reality of why we're doing this podcast.
Exactly. Yep. So what do you think of the blue hair, guys?
I
Matches my
love it.
glasses.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
It's mermaid hair. I dig it.
Mermaid hair, yeah. My purple and my blue.
Love it. Amazing.
Thank you. My
Beautiful.
1121 salon. Scott
He
does
does
great
work.
work for real.
I was gonna say he does work magic.
He does.
Yeah.
He can make this look good. He can make anybody look
Stop
good.
it.
All right, so guys,
Ah,
I have to tell you about this place I've been eating at. Mon already knows because I've been talking about it for like a couple weeks now.
And I'm jealous. I like legit want. I've planned a trip specifically so that I can go eat at this place.
Yeah, so it's called the Smiling Cat. It's in Garrett, Indiana. If you are anywhere
oh,
in within like 500 miles of this place, you need to try it out. Their food is really good. Their ultimate grilled cheese cooked perfectly, which is hard to
Looks
mm,
say.
ultimate. Like it's
Uh-huh.
seriously. Oh, like I
Lots of
said,
gooey cheese.
I have planned a trip specifically to go see Meg so that I can go eat at this place. Like this is happening.
wow.
Pam, have you ever had an ultimate grilled cheese that came with a side of cheese?
No, you dip
Right?
it in the cheese?
Yeah,
Even better.
What?
right. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Oh,
And then their burger. Okay, are you ready? I'm going to
uh,
show you this thing.
I was gonna say, send me a pic, please, of the grilled cheese. I need it.
Hold, please.
Here
All
we
right. Can you
go.
guys see this burger?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
And it looks incredible.
Mhm.
I think hamburger is my favorite. Like hamburgers are my favorite food. That's
Hmm.
crazy. That
Yeah.
looks so
This
good.
is Philly cheesesteak
Heartstopper.
on a burger.
Wow.
It's so good. It's to die for.
My mouth is watering right
Wow.
now.
And they've got this pie. It's called
Yeah,
Drowsy Poet Pie. I've been talking about this pie for like a week now.
Yeah.
And it is
Mm,
a peanut butter cream infused with coffee.
And it also looks
It
incredible.
is
Like,
incredible.
yeah.
And a petty detail about the pie, it's named after a
wow.
restaurant in Foley, Alabama. So we've got the whole Alabama connection for our Alabama listeners.
Again,
I
nice.
know, I'm telling you, it's a thing.
It's
But yeah, they're
everywhere.
good people, good place, good food.
Good
Check
pie.
out the Smiling Cat and Garrett. There you go. So now that I've made you all hungry,
Seriously, I want dinner now.
I know.
Yeah, I was like, "Nah, I haven't eaten supper, so that's fun.
So you're welcome.
I think I might go get a burger for dinner. It will not live up to that one,
It will
but
not.
Yeah.
I will try and get close.
Yeah. All right. So today I want to talk about some aviation things that we take for granted now. And
Aviation.
Monica,
Yes,
you just flew a few weeks back, right?
Mm.
I did.
Okay. So when you flew, were you thinking about things like the way the windows are shaped or the NTSB, or were you just too worried about the Boeing plane falling apart?
Um, no, fortunately, I hadn't heard about the Boeing plane falling
Oh,
apart while I was flying, so that was a good thing. I found out about it like after. Um, so oddly enough, this thought legitimately passes through my mind every time I get on a plane. Does have to do with the windows.
really?
Yes, because
Okay.
every time I see the windows, I'm like, first of all, yeah. anyways, like what? Well, one has to do with the shape. Yes, like why are they shaped that way? But also like, is it double paned glass or is it just that thick?
Hmm. I believe it's
Because
double
you,
pane, but I'm not sure.
and that's why I'm like, it looks double paned to me, but it also could probably just be really thick glass. I don't know.
It also does not look strong enough to.
It also doesn't really look like glass or feel like glass.
No, I don't believe it is. I want to say
Like
it's like plexiglass or
the
something.
way it gets scratched up, I feel like it's plexiglass,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
what do I, I have no idea. But yeah, seriously, every time I fly, I look at the windows and I truly do wonder. Because I'm like, how did they arrive here?
Well, I am going to tell you
Are
tonight.
y'all?
Ooh.
Oh,
Are we what?
I was gonna ask if y'all are like a window seat person or like a
Window
middle
seat.
seat person.
It depends.
I feel like I've never flown before. I feel like I would like the window seat.
You've
Yeah,
never flown?
probably.
Like
I've never been
ever?
in a plane before.
Oh,
Okay,
Oh
wow.
wow.
wow. No.
No,
We
no,
are
I'm just
learning
curious
stuff
because
about Cam tonight.
I know. Like no judgment. I was just kind of surprised by that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I'm
I don't know
definitely
where
a
I would
window
go.
person. Nope.
You can come up to Indiana to see
There you
me.
go. And go eat that
Yeah,
burger.
yeah. Now I'm going.
There you go.
Right, right. Just for
Yep.
the burger.
Yeah.
Just
I'll
for the
stop by
burger.
Meg, say hi, and then I'll just leave.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, so it depends. Like I like the window seat if it's a long flight. If I need to get on a connection, then I want the
Mm.
aisle and I want to get the hell off. So I'm like front of the plane in the
Oh
aisle
yeah. See, no, I am
bounce.
window seat all the
Okay,
way because
Mm-mm.
that's
I
smart.
have a tendency to like feel claustrophobic after a while.
Mm.
And so the window seat helps alleviate that because
Mm.
I can see out to the wide open. And this coming from the person
I
who's
get.
scared of heights.
I know for like.
Make it make sense. I
I
have
know
no
for like
idea.
in right. I know in like cars, if I don't see outside, if I stare down at my phone, I start getting like car
Oh
sickness.
yeah.
So I feel like I would be the same in a plane. Whereas if I don't see outside, I'm gonna start feeling sick. Like my equilibrium's gonna get all bent out of
Yeah,
shape. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to see next time the first
Next
time
time you
and
come.
next time I'll
That's
fly.
right.
there you
Hopefully.
go. We're just gonna have to find
Yeah.
places for Cam to go so he
We
can
got
get
all
on a
kinds
plane.
of places for Cam to
Oh,
go.
for real. I
Yeah.
can, off the top of my head, I could probably list five right now.
Oh yeah. So funny story, the first time I flew with my husband, did not realize that he had never flown before either.
Are you serious?
And I had
I heard it. Oh my
I had the
gosh.
TSA pre-check. So Cam, what this is you just like fly through security, right? You don't have to take
Oh,
off your shoes, stuff like that. So
Oh,
I
really?
yeah,
They
because
don't like pat you down?
I
mm-mm.
mean you still have to go through like the machine that it looks at you or whatever, but you don't have to take off your
Oh,
shoes.
okay.
You don't have to, do certain
Yeah.
things at security. So it's a lot
Okay.
faster. So I used to fly like a few times a month for work.
Oh yeah.
So
Wow.
I like go through security and I'm like, what the hell is taking him so long? Because he had to go through regular security, but it wasn't like a huge line or anything. And I'm like, what is going on? Well, he didn't know that he had to take off his belt and his shoes and stuff like that. So he's like holding up the line. And
He's
I'm
that
like,
guy. Oh
I
no.
was like, what took you so long? He goes, why did I take off my shoes and stuff? And I'm like, yeah, duh, daughter.
Yeah,
And he's
daughter.
like, well, I didn't know. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, when was the last time you flew? And he's like, well, I've never flown. And I'm like, I am so sorry.
You're like, let me back this truck up. My
Yeah, you threw
bad.
him in the deep end. You threw him in the deep
I
end.
did. I
Yeah.
like totally left him to the wolves because I didn't realize that he'd never flown before. And I felt really bad about it. So sorry, babe.
Where did you guys
Dang.
fly?
We flew
When
to New
that?
Mexico.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Okay.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So luckily it wasn't like, he had to go through New York security, but still,
Right.
it was,
Still though, like if you don't know, then yeah.
yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah. So there you go. Now that we
Whoopsie.
know, though, Cam, we can give you some pointers.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, I still am lost. I'm probably like I'm like, what do I do with my bag? How
Yeah.
many tons? Probably one, right?
Well, we are gonna
Depends on the
teach you some
flight. I don't know.
things. We're gonna
Yes.
teach you some things, but
Okay.
tonight,
Okay.
first of all, we are allegedly gonna go in the Wayback
Oh,
Machine.
woohoo!
Bow, 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 bow.
So if y'all want a shirt, make sure to email me. We are sending some of those out. We've had some people that actually are super interested in them. They're nice shirts, are real soft.
They're super comfortable.
Super comfortable.
Yep.
We are also getting the hats out. I'm working
I
on
get 30
those.
cents of the proceeds
That's right.
for my Wi-Fi.
That's right.
Just
We're throwing
kidding.
money at Cam's Wi-Fi.
Just kidding.
Pretty much.
And don't
Yeah.
tempt me, Cam. I will send you money instead of shirts, I promise.
No, no. No, I don't even know if better Wi-Fi would work because I live in like the sticks. So,
Oh,
who
Cam.
knows?
We're gonna work on getting Elon Musk,
There you
Wi-Fi
go.
to your house. Yeah. All right. So all
Yes.
all the shirts ready to go out to you, and go to the Cam Wi-Fi fund, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. But
Never miss the petty details.
tonight we are going in the Wayback Machine to
Yep.
the early 1900s.
Ooh.
Ooh. All right.
Oh.
So we are going to start with some history of aviation. And this is the very quick version of this. So we got these two dudes, Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur,
Wilbur.
and they are researching and experimenting with planes in the late 1800s and early 1900s. And in 1904, they fly the first completed circle by a manned air-powered machine that we all know as the airplane.
Fancy.
Okay. So we're going to fast forward
Right.
about 10 years, and now there are a few pilots learning this new skill, and they are occasionally having passengers in their open air cockpits. So
Imagine being one of the first people, one, to be like, I want to learn how to do this newfangled thing called flying.
dude,
And then two, I want to be a
Right.
passenger on said thing.
you
Like,
know that was probably terrifying the first time
yeah,
you're up in a plane like that.
for real.
100%.
Yeah. So although we bitch about small airplane seats today, at least we're not eating bugs, right?
Very good point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Perspective. It's all about perspective.
That's right. All right.
Yeah.
So by the 30s, we've got some commercial airlines. But these planes are not very big. They aren't pressurized, so they have to fly low.
Mm.
It's super uncomfortable and expensive. So around this time, a coast-to-coast trip is about $260. Not bad, right?
Doesn't sound like much right now, but in the 30s, that's
Right.
I was about to
a
say in the
lot.
1930s, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to remember that that's half the price of a car in those days.
Right.
And yeah.
Oh,
So you're spending like 20 grand
To fly cross
to
country.
fly. Yeah, if the cars, went the same amount of money,
Right.
like incremented up. Incremented up, that's a word. It's a word now.
It is now.
And anyway, so that's about $5,000
increment
in
it
today's money.
up. Hey. Are you
Grammar.
incremented up? Because I'm incremented up.
Oh yeah, no, we're
Get
incremented
incremented
up.
up today.
Yep.
Oh, I have a good friend, and she was an English teacher for years. She is going to cringe at some of the things I say. I'm sorry, Andy Pacino. Okay, so one of these
Full name.
airlines is TWA. Okay, so we're going to talk about TWA Flight 6, which took off from Los Angeles, headed for Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Ooh.
Ooh. This is on May 6th, 1935.
Ah.
So we got a whole Albuquerque thing.
I like it.
And from Albuquerque, Flight 6 departs with about 13 people on board. including Senator Bronson M. Cutting of New Mexico, and it's headed to Kansas City. Leaves Albuquerque about 9:15 in the evening and is cleared for instrument flying. So this means that the pilot has to use his like instruments telling him how high he is,
What direction he's going,
exactly.
speed, etc.
And he
Okay.
can't just look
Yeah.
visually out the window to see what's going on.
Okay.
But apparently, the plane's
Mm.
radio transmitter wasn't working properly, but the flight continued on. So by the time the plane gets over
Okay.
Missouri, it's drizzling, it's cloudy, and the plane only has about 45 minutes of fuel left, although some estimates later put it at about 22 minutes.
Oh,
Oh, yikes. That's quite a
Yeah.
that's quite a difference.
Hmm.
that's cutting it close.
Yeah.
Yeah. A
Mm,
lot closer.
yeah. Apparently, this pilot is one of those that, lets his car run out of gas too.
Yeah. Ah,
I didn't see the light come on. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, what happened?
right, right. I had
So
22 miles left. What are you
it's
talking about?
fine. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
So the captain decides to put the plane down at Kirksville Airport in Missouri. And the plane is seen coming out of the clouds a little high for a landing. And at around 300 feet, it goes west over the runway, turns left, but the plane is too low and the wing hits a maple tree, rips through high tension lines, and hits an embankment.
Yikes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Not the
And
maple tree.
yeah, very specific maple
I
tree.
know.
Mhm.
Right. Right. They're like, that maple tree's yeah.
Yeah. So somehow only 5 of the 13 people on board died,
Wow.
which is kind of crazy
Oh my gosh,
considering.
people died.
Well,
Whoa.
it's a plane crash, Cam. Stay with me.
Well,
In the
well,
30s.
I mean, I know, but like people can survive plane crash. Oh, I guess in the 30s, yeah.
Well,
Never
I mean, yeah.
mind.
But it's okay
R.I.P. to
because 5 people
R.I.P. to those
survived. So it's
people.
okay, Cam. Don't be sad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm.
All right. So um 5 people died, but that included the senator and the pilot.
Oh,
And because probably the senator
Oh,
died, this leads to the Civil Aeronautics Act of 1938, which established the
right.
Independent Air Safety Board, which would investigate accidents.
Hmm.
So this wasn't a thing before then.
Okay.
This is the precursor to the National Transportation Safety Board that we know today that was formed in 1967.
Ah. I was gonna ask, any relation to the NTS? Yep.
Yep. All right. So we are going to fast forward on our Wayback Machine to the 50s.
Way forward machine.
Yeah, it's a forward machine. So by the mid 50s, more people are flying than taking the train. This is when
Okay.
normal flying would be more like what we think of as first class now. A
Everybody
continent.
gets dressed up.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what that means.
it
Oh,
means
I know like
everybody.
economy is like less, first class is like better, right?
yeah,
Yes.
Is there
yep.
anything else?
Oh, there's yeah. You get free
What's
stuff. You have more
coach?
leg
Mhm.
Coach is
room.
like really good. Is
No,
coach a
coach is
thing?
like regular.
Am I tripping?
Yeah, coach is like
Oh.
regular.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're a sardine.
You're sardine, pretty much.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right, so a Continental Airlines information packet from the 50s talks about having a whole cigar lounge on certain planes.
No.
Yeah.
See, I'd be
Wow.
like, get me off.
Yeah.
I
How they
can't breathe.
You.
Oh no. Come on, Cam. This is when everybody could smoke on planes. The cigar
Yep.
lounge was like an extra thing.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Yep.
Wow.
How they serve hot and cold meals and snacks.
Full on meals too,
Oh,
like
fancy.
Meals, yeah.
actual meals. Yeah.
Kids can get
Wow.
blankets, comic books,
Oh.
and crayons. And you can always
That they
meet the
should still
pilot.
do that.
Yeah, they should.
They should.
Oh,
Yeah. And the kids could get wings, which I actually remember doing when I was a kid. I remember
Oh,
getting
nice.
wings.
Oh, like plane wings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would go and you would
Yes.
meet
Okay.
the pilot, and they would give you
Like,
these little plastic wings to wear on your.
Oh,
It was
nice.
fun. It was a lot of fun.
oh, okay.
Mhm.
Cute.
Yeah. So a meal during this era from United Airlines included beef tenderloin tips in a wine sauce with peas, salad, buttered rolls, cheese and crackers, and chocolate cake.
Yum.
That's a regular meal.
I
Wow.
want dinner now. Again.
Another food item. Yeah, I
Yep.
was gonna say another food item and
Yep. So anyway, sorry I got sidetracked thinking about tenderloin.
Right.
Last time I flew, I got some dry ass pretzels and half a can of Coke on the size or in the seat the size of a
no.
child's like high chair.
Yeah. I was just trying to think. I'm like, what did one of the flights they gave us like these little graham cracker snack
Oh,
things? I
okay.
don't know. Um,
Do you have to pay for that or is that like
No, they get
included?
it, that's free. If you want anything else,
Okay.
it's yeah.
yeah, you gotta pay for it.
What about like drinks? Can you like ask for water?
Yeah, they give you like water and usually Coke products for free.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll do juice
Okay.
depending on the airline.
Hmm.
An apple juice in the air would hit, I'd have to say.
It would hit
It would
differently. Yep.
it would
An,
feel good.
an apple
Yeah,
juice in
it
the
would
air.
hit
I
differently.
like it. Cam
Oh my
has
God.
lofty goals for his first flight.
He does. He really does.
Yep, yep. I have
Uh,
high expectations now.
yeah, you do. Yeah, you
I need
do.
apple juice and some goldfish crackers.
There you go.
All right. So we are going to talk about one of the more comfortable jets, the Havilland Comet. So this plane was released in 1952, and it offered a more
Okay.
quiet and comfortable ride.
Mm,
This plane was state of the art when it was made. It was one of the few to have swept wings, which means the wings go back this way.
Okay.
It had wing
okay.
fuel tanks, which was not really a
Oh,
thing then, and these two turbojet engines that were buried into the wings. So it's a cool looking plane.
okay.
Yeah.
It was about the size of a Boeing
It's called the
737.
Comet. So
It's called the Comet.
uh, it's got a lot to live
It does.
up to its
It
name. Like
does.
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
big name.
Yeah. So this thing is a sizable plane. Like it's the size of a 737, but it carried only about 36 seats because you had so much room on these planes. Can you imagine that now, Monica?
I'm trying to picture that. I'm like, I don't know what I would do with all that space.
Right? Yeah. So this
Start playing like
plane
table tennis.
hmm
actually, yes, in some of the
If you
pamphlets in
tell
the
me that
okay, they didn't do
if
table.
they
Well, I
play
don't know. They might
table
have done
tennis.
table tennis, but like
Okay.
in some of the pamphlets in the 50s, they had the seats that face each other and they could play games and stuff on these tables.
Chess, probably. Yeah, that's
Oh yeah.
crazy. That's
That would
cool.
be legit if you know the person across from you. Like if you're traveling with someone and they sit across from you, that'd be legit.
Oh yeah.
If you are traveling by yourself and you are forced to face a stranger, no thank you.
No, I feel like that'd be so fun. You can like get
You
their
face
story.
forward.
You can like, where are you going? Why are you going here? You know, while you're like
No.
beating them at chess.
Cam's that person
No.
on the plane now.
He is that person on the plane who wants to chat with his neighbor.
So how's everyone doing? How are you?
This is
Yeah.
my
First
first
time
time.
flyer.
Yeah. And then I clap whenever we land. Like
Yeah.
those. I know that you're not supposed to do. That's annoying apparently.
Well, it depends on what kind of flight you've
I
had.
was gonna
So,
say I have had a flight
I
where I
guess
was very
so.
tempted to clap
uh,
at the end of it just because it was so windy the whole time
mm-hmm.
and the pilot was amazing. But yeah,
Yep. All right. So, are you done, Cletus?
I was just gonna say I just saw like the horse. Oh, there he is again.
Yeah, there he is. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy.
Oh,
Yeah.
hi Cletus.
Oh,
Big old
Yeah,
great Dane
you
head.
should have shown up for the dogs with jobs. I noticed you didn't do that.
Well, no, because
Yeah.
his job was to be
he's like,
absent.
but Mama, I can fly.
Yeah.
He's like, I can fly like a plane.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right. So this de Havilland Comet, this plane is like the bee's knees until it suffers 5 crashes within a
Oh,
year.
Yikes.
oh, oh no.
Yeah. And I'm not talking like within only a year of being released, but between crashes also.
Jeez.
What?
Yeah. So, okay, in October of 52, a flight crashed while trying to take off from Rome, but there were only minor injuries.
Okay.
Okay. The second was more serious in March of 53. A Canadian Pacific Airlines flight also couldn't get airborne and crashed in Pakistan after it hit an embankment, killing 11 people.
Yikes.
So these 2 accidents were attributed to pilot error because the way the wings were set up, if you over rotated trying to get the plane off the ground, then you would lose lift. So the wing
Mm.
was redesigned.
Okay.
But the first fatal hull breakup was May 2nd, 1953.
Okay.
So this is the body of the plane. So a British Overseas Airways Corp flight left Calcutta, India, going to Delhi when it ran into thunderstorms. It was only in the air 6 minutes when the plane broke up and killed all 43 people on board.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's giving me Final Destination.
Vibes,
That
yes.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
that's another thing. Like I have to like forget about that it whenever I.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Did we lose Cam? We might
Uh-oh.
have lost. Oh, there he
Oh,
is.
there
There
he
he
is.
is.
Cam froze for a hot second.
Yeah. That's all
Oh,
right. You're back.
okay.
You're
Okay.
back though.
What if I froze again?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So that one, it was concluded that the structure of the plane was overstressed because of either the gusts of the wind or the
Mhm.
pilot's control of the plane while trying to fly through the storm.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
But then in January of 1954, there was another flight breakup over Italy. So the plane had left Rome going to London, and when the plane got to about 27,000 feet, it broke apart and crashed into the sea, killing 35 people.
Jeez.
So after this crash, they pulled the Comet and they start making modifications, and then they returned the planes to service in March of 54.
Mhm.
Okay. But on April 8th of 1954, there was another plane that broke up and crashed into the sea over Italy, killing all 21 people on board, and the planes were yanked from service again.
Jeez.
Damn.
Yeah. So obviously everybody is like, what the fuck is going on with these planes? Because
Yeah.
these are a year old.
Mm-hmm.
So they start testing the plane and doing this water torture test where basically they stick this
Oh,
plane in a water tank and see what happens.
Like a pressurized water tank.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So they are
that's
repeatedly
crazy.
pressurizing this plane, and they figure out that the metal fatigue is happening at bolt holes that are right by the escape
Ah.
hatch cutouts.
Okay, so the metal's
That's an
weakened there.
important spot of the play.
Yeah, a
Yes.
little bit. Um, when they started looking harder, they found that the skin thickness wasn't enough, and that the stress from the overloads of these cutout areas, which were square,
Mm-hmm.
um, it
Mhm.
just wasn't thick enough.
Okay.
They also found out that the way that they had riveted the windows could cause cracks to develop there also.
Huh.
Oh,
Yeah. So here's the other thing. This was all noted in the testing of the plane in 1949.
When it first came out.
This is
bruh.
Oh, before it even came out.
before it goes commercial, when they're still testing the plane. These test pilots are
Mm.
reporting that if they went around a corner at 2.5 to 3 Gs, the floor would bulge up and bang where it was flexing.
Oh, dang.
Dude.
Yeah,
It's kind of a big deal.
Seems
kind of
like
a big,
important information.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the square windows of this plane actually took a lot of the blame over the years for being the areas
Oh,
where it would fail. But
Yeah.
that wasn't the actual structural failure. It was the skin
yeah.
of the fuselage and the riveting method that was used.
Okay.
So there
So
are
there's
other
hmm, okay.
Yes. So there are other planes at the time, including the Boeing 377 Strato Cruiser and the Douglas DC 7 and 8, and they all have square windows, but
Hmm.
not the same failures.
Interesting.
Hmm.
So although the Comet is cited a lot for the change in window planes or in plane windows being square to the oval shape that we know now, it isn't
Uh-huh.
quite true.
Huh.
So they ended up changing to the oval shape because it was easier to glue them in.
That makes sense.
That was the only
Oh,
reason. It had nothing to
Yeah.
do with
yeah.
the structural
Huh.
failures.
I can see
So,
how that correlation will be made, but
yeah,
interesting.
but it wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So,
Right,
what
right.
happens to this plane, right? Well, they take all the comets out of service. They rebuilt a newer plane
Oh,
with thicker skin,
okay.
and it comes back into commercial service in 1958 and that ends up being one of the most tested planes in aviation history.
Oh wow.
And a lot of the design characteristics went on to be used in other planes, including the oval windows.
Hmm.
I believe it was also one of the favorite planes of Queen Elizabeth.
Interesting.
Oh,
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah, they uh they tested the heck out of that thing because they're like, we are not having a repeat.
Exactly.
Thank you
yeah.
very much.
Yeah. So
Well,
it
with the
We
probably
are
was,
queen
going
on it,
yeah.
yeah. We are
So,
gonna test our fixes and make sure that they are actually gonna work.
so it was probably one of the more safe planes
Yeah,
after that happened.
yeah.
probably.
All right. So we are going to stay in the 50s here and talk about the 1956 Grand Canyon mid-air collision.
Oh.
Oh, oh.
Yeah. So June
I
30th,
don't like that. The name of it is leads to.
yeah,
Well,
a little
yeah.
scary. So June 30th, 1956, we have two planes that take off from Los Angeles. We've got TWA Flight 2 and United Flight 718. TWA
Okay.
is given clearance by air traffic control to climb to 19,000 feet. United is cleared to climb to 21,000 feet.
Okay.
Because of where they were,
Okay.
both planes had entered this uncontrolled airspace, which means air traffic control isn't in contact with the planes.
Oh yikes.
Okay. So, because of this, TWA had to contact his dispatcher, who would then contact air traffic control to see if he could climb to 21,000 feet
Oof.
to avoid some thunderclouds. But his request is denied. However, he is approved to fly 1,000 feet above the clouds.
Okay.
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 So at this point, both of the planes are flying under instrument flight rules. And as we said before, that means that they're using their instruments to figure out where they are instead of using references outside the planes,
Visuals, yeah.
lights, mountains, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But because they are outside of controlled airspace, both planes are responsible for maintaining safe separation from other aircraft.
Seems
Huh.
reasonable.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't run into other planes.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
So now
Seriously.
the problem comes in because even though the TWA flight was denied clearance to climb to the 21,000 feet,
Oh no.
he was granted clearance to climb 1,000 feet above the clouds, which ends up putting him at 21,000
21,000.
feet
I was gonna
anyway.
say, I have a feeling he's gonna end up there anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So now both planes,
that's equivalent to like asking your mom if you can go out, and then she tells you no, but then you go ask
Go
your
ask your
dad if you can go
dad.
out, and your
Mhm.
dad tells you yes.
exactly.
Exactly.
Yep. So both planes are now at the same altitude above the Grand Canyon, and at 10:30 a.m. they collide. And it looks like the United pilots tried to avoid the TWA flight because their plane was turning right and pitching down when it hit.
Okay.
But the
Mhm.
United's wing hits the top of the TWA stabilizer, which is the back straight part like this, and it
Yeah.
cuts through the
Ooh.
fuselage, which caused the whole tail to break away.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so both planes plunge into the Grand Canyon, with the United plane hitting the side of a ravine and the TWA flight hitting a different cliffside.
Jeez.
128 people are killed, which made it the first commercial airline accident that exceeded 100 people.
Oh. Ugh.
Right.
Jesus.
So in
Whew.
1956, when this happens, they don't have any beacons to try and locate these planes. There's no data recorders and there's no TCAS system, which is the traffic alert and collision avoidance system that they have on planes today, which would have prevented this collision, because there's like this um, transponder basically that
Oh,
sends
okay.
out saying, "Hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here."
Yeah.
And then if
Avoid me.
right, and if you
Don't hit
get
me,
too
don't hit me.
close,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
the other plane's TCAS system is like, "Oh my God, there's a plane there." And yeah, so it helps with things like this.
Was and I mean this probably doesn't have much to do with it either, but was that area not controlled by air traffic
It was not.
because it's the Grand Canyon?
It's the Grand Canyon.
And so they don't have
They
anything
just, yeah.
to do with the Grand Canyon because it is the Grand Canyon. Is that why it was uncontrolled?
Yeah, because it's
Okay.
1956.
Well, that too, but
So yeah, basically.
okay.
So obviously this is a big deal. It's all over the news.
Yeah.
And the poor air traffic controller was blamed by the public for not
Mm,
realizing that both planes would be at the same altitude. But neither plane was legally under the air traffic controller at the time.
right.
So,
Right.
although the TWA captain was told about the United flight at some point, it's not really the air traffic controller's jurisdiction.
No.
So, poor guy got blamed for nothing. Um, but the flying public is obviously like, no, y'all gotta do something about this.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1957, Congress increased funding to hire more controllers, get some radar, and modernize the whole air traffic control system.
Hmm.
But this wasn't the
Interesting.
end of the changes. Up to this point, the Civil Aeronautics Administration was in charge of commercial flights, and then the military kind of did its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they aren't talking to each other.
I know, because that would make way too much sense.
Right. And people are starting to
Yeah.
understand that this is causing problems now, because there's another midair collision in 1958 with
Oh,
a United
jeez.
flight and a military jet in Nevada.
Yikes.
Dang.
So in 1958, after these two collisions and a bunch of near misses, the Federal Aviation Act of 1958 was put in place. And this created what we now know as the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, which gave it total control over airspace in the US.
Wow.
So that was the problem before, is that this was like the Wild West of the skies. You could kind of
Yeah.
do what you wanted. There was air traffic control over the cities
Mm-hmm.
and kind of nothing in between.
Right.
And the
Okay.
military's doing its own thing. And yeah,
I didn't realize it took that long for the FAA to be stood up.
right.
I mean, I knew it wasn't immediate. I knew there was things that led up to it being created, but wow, I didn't realize it took that long.
Yeah. So now that we know how some of this early stuff was put in place, like the precursor to the NTSB,
Mm-hmm.
the FAA, and why we have thick airplane skins and oval windows and planes, I would like to end on a positive note.
Yay.
Oh,
Yep. Okay, so y'all know about Sully, the hero pilot that landed the plane in the Hudson River.
Yep.
Tom Hanks made a movie about it. No,
sure.
not ringing a
Tim's like,
bell.
I
I did
totally know.
I did hear about the plane in the Hudson River. I have no context beyond that.
Okay, well,
Gotcha.
he landed a
We
plane, saved a
did,
bunch of people.
yeah.
And
Okay,
birds.
yeah.
Okay. Yay!
But do you know about the guy who landed his plane on a levee in Louisiana?
No.
Oh yeah, that's my cousin. No, I'm just kidding.
Cam's like,
Cam's
oh yeah,
like,
I know that
duh, how
one.
do you not know?
I have heard some crazy plane stories, especially like the ones that the crop dust, like
Mhm.
people landing those types of planes. Yeah. Some crazy stories that happen with those for sure.
Well, this is a commercial flight.
Oh,
Yeah. So in May
not
of
a crop
19
duster.
no, not a
Yeah.
crop duster, no.
No.
So
Slightly larger.
in May of 88, there is a Taka flight 110 that has
Okay.
taken off from San Salvador in El Salvador. It stops in Belize City and is headed to New Orleans.
Oh, fun.
This is a Boeing 737-300, so this is a sizable plane.
Mm-hmm.
Has
Mhm.
about 45 people on board, including the passengers and crew. And the plane starts to descend into New Orleans. And at about 16,000 feet, it hits this insane thunderstorm.
Yikes.
The crew had tried to go around the storm, but it was so big that they really couldn't.
Yeah, I feel like when it rains here, it literally pours. Like it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
And
the
this one was
thundercloud surf.
really bad. They end up hitting hail, like heavy hail.
Oh, dang.
Dang.
And all of a sudden, both engines lose power.
Yeah.
Ruh-roh.
So the crew is trying to restart the engines, and now they're at about 12,000 feet. And they tell air traffic control that they're having an emergency, that they don't have any power to the engines.
Mm.
So
Seems
they,
like a big emergency.
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of a big deal. So they keep trying to reset these things until they get the engines to ignite again, but they don't have any thrust power. So they have the
Oh,
engines, but it's like your car's in neutral. It's not really going to do much.
Right.
right. The plane's just stuck in midair. It's not moving at all.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, at this point, they're just coasting.
Right.
Yeah.
So, with everything that these guys are doing to try and get these engines to work properly, they start to overheat.
Imagine being a passenger and like
Well,
watching
you
No.
people
probably
like,
don't
oh, you
quite
don't.
realize like what's going on at
Okay.
this point. Like it may be a little quiet,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
you it's like it's not like I mean, you know that the thunderstorm's happening and then you notice it's
Right.
quiet,
Right.
but you probably don't like realize the full
Yeah, the full
breadth of this
effect.
problem.
We're not
Yeah.
moving
Right.
as fast as I thought we would be. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You
So,
don't feel that.
yeah, so the engines start to overheat and they decide to shut both the engines down again.
Okay.
And now they realize that
Dang.
they're going to have to put this
Better
plane
than it
down.
exploding.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So they're like, we have to put this plane down. We have to do it now, but it's not going to make it to the airport.
Oh, geez.
So the
Mhm.
only place that they see to land is on a levee, which is, as Cam knows, it's like a small hill on the side of a canal.
Uh-huh. At best.
Yeah. So I want
Hey,
to
levees save lives. I'm not
They
even gonna
do.
They
lie.
do. They absolutely do. But I want to explain to our listeners who may not know how big a levee is. It's only this levee, particularly, is only about 6,000 feet long, which is not as long as you'd think, and
No.
120 feet wide.
See, and that's not very wide.
Yeah.
This is a
It sound
commercial
like it. I was gonna say it
airplane.
sounds
Yeah.
big, but then when
Right.
you put it next to the context
In
of the size of the plane
perspective.
and it's coming in for a landing, like it takes time to slow that down.
Yep. In
It takes
fact,
distance to slow that
I
down.
am going to Google. Let's see. How long is a 737-300? I want to know. It is 110 feet long.
Okay.
Okay, let's see how wide it
Okay.
is. It is it is 95 feet wide.
Oh,
Oh, that's cutting it close.
Yeah, a little bit
yeah.
close. All right. So now they see this levee. They need to slow down. So they are gliding down towards this levee, doing checklists, and they are somehow able to land this plane with only one injury.
Wow.
What?
Yeah,
Some person's being just dramatic, I'm
Who
sure.
was, I was gonna
They're
say,
like,
probably.
my
who was,
pinky.
yeah,
who was in the bathroom when they said,
exactly.
don't go to the bathroom, stay in your seat and stay
Right.
buckled?
Right.
There's
Yeah,
always that
Yeah.
one person.
always that one person. So I want to tell you a little bit about this crew. We've got Captain Carlos Dardano. I'm
Mhm.
gonna screw up this name. Dionzio Lopez is the first officer.
Okay.
And then they've got an instructor
Okay.
pilot with them, Captain Arturo Soli, who was there to monitor the performance of the plane, which was really only about 4 months old at the time.
Oh.
Well, he
Talk
had
about a
he had a lot
test.
of paperwork to do after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our captain, Dardano, it's pretty amazing though, obviously.
Really.
But he had been a pilot for a while and had ended up losing an eye by getting shot during the Civil War in El Salvador years before.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought you
So
can't. I
he's
thought you have to be like meet certain criteria to be a pilot.
Okay. You have to remember, first of all, that this is not an American airline
true.
Okay. True.
It is a foreign
and it's
airline,
I
yes.
see.
1988.
Still the Wild West.
So, yes,
Right.
I believe that you do have to have both eyes now, but
No.
yeah. But this dude literally landed a plane on a 120-foot wide levee with one eye.
That's amazing.
That's impressive.
Impressive, yeah.
Yeah.
So it ended up being that the engines had ingested too much water from the thunderstorm, and the
Ingested as if they voluntarily drank. They were like,
they
Right.
drank,
yeah. Yeah.
and the plane had sustained
ASMR
hail damage.
for later.
Yep.
That's right.
That was ASMR.
It was.
So because of this, modifications were made to the engines in the future so that they better deflected the hail and they would drain more water from the engines so that it wouldn't happen again. Because
Oh,
they
okay.
really hadn't tested these engines at Boeing for that much hail, which ended up when they started testing like how much it actually was, it was the equivalent of about 30 inches per hour of water.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
a
these engineers,
Yeah,
when
I
they
can see
thunderstorm.
tested
why
it,
they
weren't
got
like, oh, this
flooded.
is never going to happen.
Oh yeah.
It won't
Four
get
months
in
in.
water. Sure.
Right? Welcome to
You've
Louisiana.
never been to Louisiana.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. All right, but they
Basically
still
made of water.
exactly. Yeah. So they still have this plane on the levee, right? So they decide they're going to tow the plane from the levee to this nearby NASA facility where they fixed the engines enough to let the plane fly to another airfield where the plane was completely fixed and continued flying until 2016 when it retired as a Southwest Airlines plane.
Wow.
So you may have flown on this actual plane,
And
Monica,
didn't even know it.
and didn't even know it. Yep.
Crazy.
Congratulations to that plane.
Right?
Yep.
Very
And
long life.
to all the 45 people that these guys saved because that was freaking
Yeah.
amazing with one eye.
Yeah.
Oh, Cletus came back for some
Oh, hi,
loves.
buddy. So that is some petty details about plane travel,
Wow.
some stuff we take for granted today. And
Heck
now
yeah.
you know about the miracle on the levee. So,
Yep.
Am, you can go tell your
The
friends.
mir-
That's
I'm
what
gonna
it's
write a book.
called, the miracle on the levee.
Oh, nice.
The miracle on the levee. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Yep, they should make a movie about him because that's crazy.
They
Oh, they
should.
should.
hmm
And he's got one eye. That'd
And
be
he's got one
Exactly.
eye.
so
Yeah,
cool.
Hometown hero right
Yeah.
there.
that's right.
For
So
real.
there you go. There's some petty details about plane travel. This is the first of a few episodes about this.
Nice.
I've got a lot to say about this whole thing. But you
This
know,
whole subject?
we've got so many. I mean, we started in the 1900s, went to the
Right.
30s, and then into
Right.
the 50s. So like
50s, yeah.
we've got a lot of other things to go
Stories.
through. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
Do
apparently
you
I have to
have
go.
is
I've
the
got
cat there
cats.
too?
I've got cats. I've got dogs.
She's a regular Dr. Doolittle right now.
Junior, come and get your cat.
Earlier when you were talking about Orville and Wilbur, I was like, hey, Will.
Well,
Wilbur.
yeah. All right, guys. Well, those are some petty details about
About cattails.
cattails,
Yes.
yes. About some flying.
I like it.
So,
Very interesting.
yeah. There you go. Things you
Still
didn't
curious
Fly
about the
high.
windows and the double panes and glass versus plexiglass, though.
We will find that out for the next episode.
Thank you, Meg. I appreciate that.
Oh, to be continued?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Heck
Yes.
yeah.
All right, everybody. Stay
I think your
petty, my
animals are trying
friends.
to tell you something,
Yeah.
Meg.
All right, Subai
Yeah,
Cletus.
yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, Monica, our guest hosts, and listeners for getting into the petty details with me today. Stay petty, my friends.